Welcome to Basement Movie Room. We're back with the last episode of the season of The Last of Us, or the finale of Us.
Oh, it's so sad.
It is sad.
I can't believe we're already here.
It's tough to lose this show.
Yeah.
So this will be probably the last of Sunday nights for a while for us on Twitch, but we'll still be around on Friday nights most likely. Most weeks, not all weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're here and there.
Yeah, life gets in the way.
Planning on this week. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'll be
You
there.
ain't got no Zooms or anything, do you?
No Zooms.
I don't know the way it's going.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. Keep pushing it out.
It's a text. It's a text at this point.
Yeah.
All right, so what'd you think of the episode before we get into it?
I was pretty disappointed to see it was 43 minutes long.
That was tough to see. I thought we'd get a longer episode.
And we were talking like throughout the season. It's like, man, you know, they really hadn't gotten anywhere. You know, that season finale needs to be like an hour and a half, and we got exactly half of that. Half of that. Yeah, less. Yeah. So
this. Oh man. Yeah.
So I went in. I was like, man, are they going to do like a part 1, part 2? You know, or are they just going to end it? But yeah, I mean, it was good for a season finale. I think it kind of fell short.
Yeah,
in a
sense, you never played the game either.
In a sense, it fell short, but I really enjoyed the episode.
It literally fell short for you.
Yeah, 100%.
It fell short.
Yeah. So I think that was my main issue was the length, but the story that they told in it was great.
Always quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really liked it. It captures the essence of the ending of the game. It moves at a clip, but like I told you, the game, there's a lot of gameplay in this section of it. There's a ton of gameplay in this section of it. So like when I saw how they were doing it, I was like, oh, this makes sense, because I was playing most of the parts that they're kind of like rushing through. So it's like, and we get infected in this episode.
Yeah.
Only one.
First time in 3?
Few episodes, yeah.
4 episodes?
In a while. But again, that's not what the show is about. It's more about the people than it is the infected. But yeah, I really liked it. It was short. It felt like it was 15, 20 minutes long. And it
really
40
did.
minutes long.
Yeah.
But I think it captures the essence of the game almost perfectly. To down to the ending. Everything. It made complete sense to me. I know, you didn't know. You didn't know what was going to happen.
No.
You didn't know about the controversy of this ending. The ending is extremely controversial in the game world, and I think it's going to be controversial on the TV watcher only.
Oh, 100%.
Because I mean, there's a decision made that is pretty significant decision that was made not with Ellie's input.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's just Joel makes it a spur of the moment decision. Not even spur of the moment. I mean, it was clear from the moment you got there with Marlene in this episode what decision was going to be made by Joel. There was no doubt. But yeah, I don't want to say much more because we're going to get in the episode.
Yeah. Little recap.
Yeah. So the episode opens with a girl running through the woods. This is Ashley Johnson, who actually played Ellie in the game. She was the voice and motion capture of Ellie in the game. So we got Troy Baker last episode.
And the little girl from Growing Pains.
Yeah, and the little girl from Growing Pains. That is correct. Because you were trying to place that. I was like,
man, what is she from?
Yeah, she's Growing Pains.
She was a little girl and something. Yeah.
And she's like 39 now.
Mm-hmm.
She's around our age, close to it. So she's running through the woods. She's very pregnant, and she gets to this farmhouse, and she gets through the door of the farmhouse, and she yells like for somebody. She thought somebody was going to be there, possibly, but no one's there. She's being chased by an infected. She gets to the farmhouse, locks the door, goes upstairs to her room, and shuts the door. And she is in active labor at this point. And as she's sitting there, she can hear an infected break through a window and come up the stairs and bust into the room while she's in the middle of labor. Her water, you can see her water breaks at some point during this as well. So the infected busts in the room. She's got a switchblade, which is Ellie's switchblade. So we're clearly looking at a flashback here. This is Ellie's mom. And the infected comes over, attacks her. She gives birth during the attack. Doesn't even realize she does it. I guess she's struggling and pushing and all that.
Yeah.
She happens to push the child out, which is pretty tough stuff to do if you've ever had a child or been in the room having with somebody who's had a child.
Slid right out.
Had 4 at this point. And
I guess it was pretty slick though, judging by she couldn't grab the knob.
Yeah, she couldn't grab the knob.
Real slick down there.
So. Opinions on childbirth from the Basement Movie Room podcast.
We'll be here all night.
So she has a child, as she looks down at the child, she's still connected through, of course, the cord, and she looks down and she notices she's been bit on the leg. So clearly she's been infected at this point, and she gives birth to the child after being infected. And she grabs her knife, cuts the cord, ties it off, and holds the child. And then we get to the opening credits scene. So what'd you think about this opening scene?
No, I thought it was pretty interesting that they went back. And, I mean, right away I was like, holy crap, I think that's Ellie's mom, right? Yeah, and it was. And and I like how they showed the whole process of how Ellie became what she is.
You mean the Blade?
The Blade!
The Blade process.
Storyline. Yeah, you brought that up right when it happened.
I was like, they bladed her!
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the movie Blade, which you can see a review on our channel, we did it recently.
Yes.
Probably a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. Blade's mother is bitten by a vampire, and that's how he becomes a vampire with all the benefits of humanity and vampires. He's got all the strength of vampires, but he's immune to daylight.
Yeah.
So essentially, they bladed. Mm-hmm. And she names her Ellie in the scene. She says she calls her Ellie. So we're pretty clear that this is a flashback to 14 years earlier. And yeah, they bladed her.
Yeah.
This is how Blade became the Daywalker, and this is how Ellie became immune to cordyceps. And we get explanation later in the episode, which I'll go into later in the episode, on why exactly they think Ellie's immune because of this. But anything else on that?
I like how there's no mystery about where Ellie came from now.
Yeah.
Because, this whole...
And how Marlene knew Ellie.
Yeah, this whole season, it's like, okay, well, who was her mom, this and that. So, all that's been answered.
And great casting. Casting Ashley Johnson, Ellie from the game, in this.
I love it. I love how they're taking the people from the game.
Yeah.
And throwing them in there.
We got Tommy, Joel, and Ellie all as different characters in this, which they were all great. So the next scene, there's 3 people that are approaching the farmhouse. Marlene is one of them, and 2 other men. They enter the farmhouse through a back door because the front door's locked. They see the broken window, so they know something's went down, and they can hear somebody in the upstairs. So Marlene and these 2 guys climb the stairs. Marlene enters the room where Anna, who is her name's Anna, Ellie's mom, is holding Ellie, wrapped her up in like a coat, and the bite's pretty clear. She explains to Marlene that, and she knows Marlene doesn't believe it. She goes, I cut the cord before I was infected.
Right.
And she says it again. I cut the cord before it was infected because she doesn't want these other guys to think that. And she knows Marlene, who apparently was her childhood friend. They've been friends for years. And they explain that. And she says, you have to take the baby. You have to take the baby, Marlene. And you're going to give her this. She gives her the switchblade knife. That is Ellie's knife. And she says, you have to take the baby and raise her, have her taken care of, and you got to kill me.
Yeah.
Marlene doesn't like this very much. She's very sad about this. They're best friends, obviously. This almost has kind of like a relay back to Riley and Ellie.
Yep.
It very much plays the same way. Very much so. And
absolutely.
So Marlene's not real sure she wants to kill her, but she knows she's dead anyway. Mm. So Marlene does come get the baby. Anna sits there. Marlene takes the baby out to the hallway, hands him off to another one of the guys that's with her, and says, hey, take the baby and cover her ears. And just walks right back in and just pops her in the head.
Yeah,
no. I think I understand why she did it that way.
Quick.
She had to do it quick.
Yeah.
Because if she thought about it, she couldn't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this kind of humanizes Marlene. We haven't really humanized Marlene in this show. She's just been kind of this hard ass.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, you got to get her here. She gave her to Joel to get her there, So this humanizes Marlene, gives us an idea of who Marlene really is outside of just being a firefly who's out to burn the world of Fedra, and shows that Marlene has a relationship with Ellie from birth, and that's going to come into play later in the episode. Of course, it doesn't come into play quite how you would expect it to, but
yeah, she's got a purpose,
Yeah,
and she's just not some shallow leader.
Yeah,
like you said, wanting to burn down Fedra. I mean,
she definitely gets more storyline here, and none of this is in the game. None of it. So we don't really get this with Marlene. I don't recall if we ever get that Marlene knew Ellie her whole life in the game either. I think that was maybe thrown in, but maybe it wasn't. I can't remember the game as well. So
I tell you what, the opening scene though was pretty creepy though. With her running, it's like your old horror
Yeah,
where
running through the woods.
Running through the woods, you don't see what's chasing her.
Yep.
And then
well done.
she gets in that room, she barricades herself, and that was pretty creepy, man. They really built the tension pretty well there. Yeah. And what a terrible way to have a child.
Yeah, oh God. I would imagine any way to have a child in this world is probably terrible, but even worse in this
while
case.
You're fighting off a cordyceps.
You literally had a child and you're dead.
Yeah.
You know you're dead. Like,
it was a clean birth.
Yeah. She had the baby and then she died, not from childbirth.
Yeah.
So, from this scene, after Marlene takes the baby back, we flash immediately over to Ellie. And it's Ellie sitting on the back of her truck, and she's not Ellie. She doesn't seem like Ellie. She seems very out of it. And this is obviously shortly after.
Yeah, a little PTSD.
James, David and James, and had to fight her way out and kill multiple people. Well, James and David, she killed those two.
Yeah.
And she's just not herself. She's definitely struggling with this. Joel knows she's struggling with this. He's doing what he can to kind of help her in Joel's own way. He's not the most good person at this, I guess you would say. He's doing what he can.
He's doing the best he can. Yeah. Which he's doing pretty well at it.
He's doing fine.
Yeah.
We have to get a nice...
That fatherly instinct kind of comes out.
Yeah. We get a beautiful Winnebago that Joel finds some Chef Boyardee ravioli in. And Ellie is sitting on one of the most amazing trucks of all time, a Datsun 4x4, which is... I love those trucks.
Do you?
That's
nice.
a classic 80s pickup truck from Datsun. That's before Nissan existed. Datsun was Nissan, of course.
Right.
So, beautiful 4x4. I love the little... I don't know. I don't know why I love them, but I love those Japanese 4x4s from the 80s. I had a Mazda. You remember that Mazda I had?
Oh, yeah.
That Mazda 4x4?
Nice.
Yeah. I had that Mazda 4x4. It's my first truck. So, as they...
before the Grand Dam.
That's right. A couple cars before the Grand Dam because it broke down on me. I had to get another one that broke down on me as well. And I wrecked.
That piece of...
That's
another... that's a podcast for another day.
We're going to podcast about Grand Dams. Join us for Grand Dam Cast next week.
We both got ours at the same time, and we had the exact same problems.
Yeah, but you had the Grand Dam GT. This is big.
It didn't matter.
Big tangent. You had the Grand Dam GT. I had the Grand Dam SE.
It was a different body.
It was the same car.
Yeah, same car, different body.
Same engine, same car. Yeah, little four-cylinder piece of shit.
POS.
Yeah. So Joel and Ellie continue on their hike. They are in Salt Lake City at this point.
You don't see any Grand Dams in this.
No, because they didn't survive past 2003, apparently. Yep. Everybody in the pandemic's like, fuck, this car's getting me nowhere. Just set the thing on fire.
Yeah.
This is not going to work.
Set
the
it
windows
on fire.
don't even work.
Set it on fire and send it towards the cordyceps.
That's right.
Yeah.
They fought them off with Grand Dam bombs.
It's about all it's good for.
So Joel and Ellie are in Salt Lake City, and there's a pretty funny scene. Joel's trying to talk to Ellie. He wants to keep her talking. He doesn't want her to think about what happens. And they get to a point, and Ellie's like, and Joel's like, hey, and she's like, no, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go over that skyscraper. We're going to climb up. We're going to get a good view and figure out what's going on. He's going, no, this time we're going to take this dynamite and film that Winnebago, and we're going to blow up this section, just go straight through. And she's like, really? He's like, no. We're going to go on the skyscraper. We're going to climb up. We're going to see what we can see.
That was nice.
Yeah, that was pretty funny moment. It's just Joel. Humor. It's Joel kind of trying to keep it light.
Right.
So we stop there and talk a little bit about those couple scenes. I really think, like, Bella Ramsey's doing some amazing acting in this.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell she's traumatized.
She's just zoned out the whole time.
Yeah, she's really traumatized.
Yeah.
And, of course, the scene in a little bit is going to kind of bring her out of it. It's kind of going to rescue her from that trauma realizing. But, yeah, I mean, she is... If she doesn't get nominated for an Emmy for just this episode, even, I don't know who would, man.
Well, both of them.
It's crazy. Both of them, for sure. Yeah.
But I mean, there's other characters, too, in this that should probably get an Emmy, but they're not around long enough. But
if this show doesn't lead the Emmy nominations, I'll be shocked. It's going to get so many. It's not TV. It's HBO.
They might be fighting against their... the competition might
Succession.
be from the same, network.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon.
House of Dragon, Succession. I'm sure will be in the same nominations.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed how Joel kind of reverted back to his fatherly instincts and was like. He felt like a human being and not just some cyborg.
Yeah, he's definitely changed. Although he'll look like a cyborg a little later. Definitely.
Exactly. I was trying to make my way into that direction.
Right there.
Yeah.
So after that, they go into the skyscraper. They're climbing up, and it's an unfinished skyscraper. It looks like it's something that's under construction or being remodeled.
Yeah, there's
and we get
plywood everywhere,
We get
pallets.
the game scene. We get the game scene that they hadn't done yet, where Joel has to hoist Ellie up to push a ladder down to let him up. And as she goes up, she all of a sudden sees something, and she's like, "Oh, Joel, you got to see this!" She throws the ladder down at him, and he sets the ladder up and goes up chasing her. He's freaking out because he doesn't know what's up there. They're making a ton of noise too, so he has no clue what could be up there.
Yeah, I brought it up to you. I was like, I guess they don't care about making noise in this world.
They're not worried about the noise. I guess it seems pretty clear, and it'd be hard for maybe a cordyceps, zombie to get up there or whatever. Oh, sorry, I said zombie. Didn't want to use that word. So this is one of my favorite scenes from the game that gets brought up. Ellie runs up these stairs. Joel's chasing her, and there are giraffes. Ellie gets to meet a giraffe. It's a beautiful green scene on an old looks like an old baseball field, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely a baseball field. Yeah.
And I was trying to read the name of the scoreboard, and I never could catch exactly what the name of the scoreboard. But the giraffes are there, and giraffes are notoriously very friendly animals to humans. They're not really scared of humans. You can feed them. You can go to zoos and feed them. That's like my wife's favorite thing to do at the zoo, is to feed the giraffes. And they're very sweet animals. They possess no threat. We were making jokes about Joel just pulling out his rifle and killing one for food.
Yeah, that's good meat.
That's good meat. The small ones are the best.
Yeah.
But this really is kind of what rescues Ellie, ultimately, is this interaction. She kind of opens back up, and you can just see kind of the trauma melt away from her in this scene. And she's just smiling, and this is like a moment of respite from the whole terrible world. And she realizes, I think, at this point that maybe it's not as bad as she thinks it is, even though she's been through absolute shit for the last few weeks or whatever.
And it kind of took Joel back, seeing her being like a kid again, enjoying like a time at the zoo.
Yeah, it
you
probably
could see
brought
in
him
his
back
face.
to
He was
Sarah,
like, he was like, "Oh man, this is awesome." Yeah.
And so they're going up, and they see more giraffes. It's like a massive family of giraffes. They're babies.
Need to find out if that was a real giraffe or if that was CGI. Because if that was CGI, that was amazing.
I almost guarantee that's a real giraffe, but I could be wrong. It looked like a real giraffe. I hope it was a real giraffe because that's amazing. Yeah. It looks great. So there's like 6 or 7 giraffes on this baseball field, and they're looking over. And at this point, Joel says, "Hey, you know what? We don't have to go through with this. I have no idea where we're going." And Ellie's like, "Yeah, I know you don't." And he's like, "We can just leave, and we can just go back to Tommy. We can go back to Jackson Hole and go back to Tommy and just be done." And Ellie's like, "What are you talking about? Of course we're going forward. Yeah. We didn't come all this way for nothing." And Joel's like, "All right, that's what we're going to do." But, in the back of his mind, I think he would have rather turned around because he doesn't know what's ahead. He has no clue. He's scared to death. He's going to lose somebody.
Yeah, he don't want to lose her.
Yeah.
Now, I mean,
she's his daughter now.
Yeah, he wants to be with her as long as he lives, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
and I actually think the relationship between them in this show is better than in the game. I think it's better. I mean, it's been a while since I played the game, but I feel like their relationship is better than Joel and Ellie.
They do a better job of progressing it throughout.
I think it's easier with human actors than it is with for them to get the facial reactions and things like that. But I mean, they're very much in this relationship in the game too. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a little bit better in the show than it is in the game. But you can see that Joel, he's clearly still worried. I mean, she's essentially his daughter at this point, and he doesn't know what lies ahead. He has no clue. He has no clue if they're even going to find the Fireflies here in Salt Lake City. He just thinks they might, and she just wants to keep going.
Yeah.
She thinks if she can help the human race, she wants to do it, which, leads us to some interesting conversation later in the episode on what happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they talk a little bit, and then they move on. And right now we got it on the screen. And
I guess at this point, she's just like, it's in my blood.
Yeah.
They're going to take a ton of blood from me.
Yeah, she just thinks it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, so...
And that would make sense. She's a kid. She doesn't know what'll happen. Joel doesn't know what'll happen. So they continue on. Ellie tells them they're going to continue on. Joel, I don't think is fond of the decision, but he's going to do what she wants at this point.
I think he's starting to get leery of like, man, something's just not right. How is this going to go down? I think he's starting to realize what's at the end of the road here.
Yeah, he doesn't really trust.
Yeah,
he doesn't trust the Fireflies. He trusts no one. He trusts Ellie. That's who he trusts. And he trusts Tommy. That's who he trusts. That's the two people in this world he's going to trust.
And Marlene?
He doesn't trust Marlene.
He never trusted Marlene?
Never.
Okay.
No, he doesn't trust the Fireflies.
See, you really don't see it in this. I mean,
Yeah.
they had one scene together.
Yeah, and that's all they have in the game, too.
Oh,
I mean,
is it?
essentially, that's all they have in the game. So I don't think he trusts anyone. I think
Yeah.
he's doing... When he started this, he was obviously doing it for money or whatever. But at this point, he's doing it to protect Allie. He wants to get her there because he believes maybe she can help, and that's what she wants to do.
She's now precious cargo.
Precious cargo, indeed. Internet's daddy,
Yep.
for sure.
That's what he does.
They move on. They end up in a camp, and Ellie asks if it's a federal camp, and Joel goes, "No, it's a military camp. I was in one of these when I was injured." And she asked him what happened, and he goes, "That story I told you about somebody missing, and that's why I got the scar. Well, it was me. I missed."
Yeah.
And he explains to Ellie that after losing Sarah, he tried to kill himself, and he just couldn't do it. Basically, he said, "I missed." You don't miss with a gun. He clearly, wanted to die, but he didn't want to die. And that's how it goes with a lot of people in mental health issues, things, and killing themselves. A lot of people, it's a cry for help.
Yeah.
More so, it's a cry for help that he needed help, and the military camp took care of him before I assume Tommy got him out of it and got him back on his feet at that point. But yeah, it's an awesome scene between the two because it's the first
Love
time.
that backstory there.
It's the first time Joel really says that, and she says essentially that, hey, I guess time heals all wounds. He goes, no, time didn't do it. Something else did. And it's Ellie. Ellie healed the wound. It's
exactly.
somebody. It's he lost Sarah. He's never going to get over that, obviously losing a child, but he has somebody else now that he loves and cares for, and that he has a reason to live for. Before he really didn't have a reason to live. Tommy wasn't a reason to live. He was doing dangerous stuff all the time. So, but Ellie's the reason.
He's always been a protector, so he had Tommy to protect. When Tommy was gone, he had nothing.
Yeah, he didn't have anything. He had Tess.
So,
Tess was gone. And then he had his cargo, which was Ellie, but now Ellie is basically his daughter at this point.
So, I never even noticed that scar.
Yeah.
I wonder if
they
it's
talked about it in the earlier episode.
Did they? Okay.
We never really saw it.
Yeah. And even after he said that, I was like, oh, man, I can't see it.
You see it later.
Yeah, you do see it later.
You see it later better. But it's on his right above his right temple and his hairline right there. So, clearly he tried to shoot himself with a pistol, and then he kind of flinched, he says, and missed, and it just grazed him. But yeah, he has a reason to live now.
Yeah.
A reason to go on.
Yeah. That was a great scene.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it, yeah.
It was really,
I like that backstory.
Really great stuff. Yeah.
And they did, in this episode, they cover so much in these very short scenes.
It's so much.
Yeah.
And
you feel like you've known these two characters their whole lives now.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
So they continue walking, and Joel tells Ellie that he could go for some more puns, and we get some more puns. Why do moon rocks taste better than Earth rocks? They're meteor. And he was like, "That's terrible.
That's a 0 out of 10. Yeah. Love.
And then, what's the difference? What did the green grape say to the purple grape? Breathe, you idiot.
Yeah.
And while they're telling those jokes, all of a sudden, you see some guys coming up behind them. They don't see them or hear them, and a flashbang gets thrown at them. They're both blinded and kind of out of it, or stun grenade. It could have been either one. They're both blinded and out of it, and we were like, oh, we know how that feels.
Yeah.
It's Call of Duty. We play it all the time.
I thought I was back in Call of Duty at this point.
And then we get the white. Which is basically the flashbang.
That's the flashbang.
In Call of Duty. So they get the white. Joel gets knocked out. And he wakes up, and it's kind of a white screen, and he's in a hospital, and it's the fire. He sees a Firefly emblem on one of the things he wakes up to, and realizes that the Fireflies caught him.
And made it look like blood.
They did make it look like blood, but it's paint. It's
Yeah.
red paint. Well, we assume it's red paint. They could be painting with blood. They could be cannibals too, for all we know.
Here we go again.
So he wakes up, and Marlene is there in the room. So Marlene talks to him and says, hey, I got here, and 5 of my men got killed, and I barely made it, and yet you and her made it all the way here.
How?
It's like she has no idea how. She thought for sure Ellie was probably dead. She just did the only thing she could back in the day when she gave her to Joel to make it there. And so it comes up in the conversation that Ellie is in surgery. And Joel goes, well, wait, why is she in surgery? You know, what's happening? And she goes, well, he's like, the cordyceps infect the brain. And she's like, yeah, that's, you know, we could save, you know, lots of lives by reproducing these cells in her brain, because the cordyceps essentially thinks she's cordyceps because of the way her birth happened. I was there at the birth. I know what happened. Her mother was bit and she got bladed. She didn't say that, but I wish she would have. Blade was already out at this point. Joel definitely saw that movie. Yeah. He liked Curtis and Viper. He was definitely watching Blade.
Nice. D. Walker.
So Joel is not real keen on this news. He knows they're going to kill Ellie to find this cure, and he's not big on it. Marlene knows this. Marlene can just tell from his reaction. Oh man, is this not plugged up? Is it not plugged up?
I thought so. Here, I'll check.
I got it. Yeah, it's plugged out here. Sorry, slight break. Slight break. There it is.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, Oscar night.
Oscar night. Tuxedo t-shirts, baby. Lloyd and Harry tuxedo t-shirts. Yeah. Put the vibe out. Yeah. So sorry for the interruption. My computer wasn't plugged up. You guys were going to lose us pretty soon here if I didn't do that. So Joel, he's not real fond of this idea. Marlene knows he's going to be a problem.
We're getting old. I'm out of breath.
I know.
Just getting out of these chairs.
I'm talking a lot too.
All right, we're back.
My side's hurting. So Marlene tells her two men to take Joel, give him Ellie's knife, and take him out to the freeway and let him go. And if he tries anything, kill him. Yeah. Essentially, because she knows that she can just tell looking at Joel that there's a relationship.
It's not going to go. Yeah,
it's not going to go well if they leave him here. So these two guys start escorting Joel out of the hospital. They go down a staircase. Joel's very slow moving, and
he's almost like Ellie.
Yeah,
at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah. He's not having it. Like, he ain't gonna have it. Yeah. So we'll stop right there before we go into the staircase scene. What do you think about everything?
Yeah. No, at this point I know where Joel's going.
Yeah.
With
you do
what's happening. So. And understand, the cordyceps take over your brain and all that. And Ellie is not just getting some blood taken out to save humanity. They're going to harvest her brain.
Kill her. They need her brain.
Yeah. So, you know exactly.
And Joel pleads. Joe does the stages of grief. He pleads like, hey, you can have others. There are others, right? And Marlene's like, no, there's no others. She's the only one. She's the only one we found. Yeah. It's great. Like the grief, you see just Joel go into just strict grief because he knows what's happening and he doesn't know what.
I guess they can find pregnant women now and just start
infect them. Yeah,
infecting them.
That seems
kind of the same.
But,
there's a lot of that in this world.
They could do that. You think they could do that, and like but I guess no. That's the thing, and maybe it just wouldn't work again. For all we know,
it's pretty much the same. Sacrifice one to save
millions,
many. Yeah.
Maybe thousands. I don't know.
Yeah, I said save billions. You're like, probably at this point it's like 2 million.
It's probably like 2 million people left on the earth at this point.
Yeah.
Except in Lithuania, because the Lithuanians are some bad. I don't know.
I just came up with a solution.
That's
as sick as it is.
Just infect pregnant women.
Infect the pregos.
Yeah. Get them pregnant and infect them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ooh.
So, okay, so we'll go to the next.
That just got real dark.
Joel and the two men are going down the stairs. Joel takes his opportunity to fight these two men off. He goes into pure adrenaline badass mode.
Oh, man.
I mean, he tackles the one guy, shoots. One guy has a Mini 14 gun. He attacks the one guy, shoots the other guy, takes a clip off the guy, has his little Mini 14, and it is fucking Terminator.
Oh.
Like Terminator killing all the people in the police station in the first Terminator.
There's a cyborg. Yeah.
He's the cyborg.
Yeah, the cyborg reference.
Joel is not playing around. He's got one mind. He's got pure adrenaline in his system. He is not going to be stopped. It's amazing. I mean, honestly,
the way they shoot this is like, it's believable that he can go through there. It's not like some crazy action scene.
Yeah.
It is actually like something that like a special ops guy would be able to do.
Joel is ridiculously good in this scene. And
there's around corner,
he's watching his corners. He's watching his back. And I think maybe the Fireflies aren't equipped for this kind of fight, to be honest. I think they're probably less experienced with this kind of stuff than Joel is, because Joel really just takes them out no problem. And even guys who are giving up, he just kills them.
Yeah.
He just kills this guy right here.
No mercy.
Yeah, no mercy. He knows if he doesn't kill them, they're going to come after him.
Yeah.
So he knows he's got to take them out. And just like I told you, this feels exactly like the game. It's like that one scene with like the hospital, like the nurses station, right from the game. Looks exactly like the game. And plus
That's right. When you walked around that corner, you're like,
corner.
this is
I died so many times in that section because there are a lot more guys.
I bet. Yeah.
And I have a flamethrower at some point in the game too, which is a lot of fun. There's also armored guys in section of the game that you don't have to deal with here. But yeah, Joel he's a one-man wrecking crew.
Takes them out.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He takes them all out.
It doesn't seem like there's that many guys.
No, there's not a ton.
Yeah.
And you'd think there would be more, and there are more in the game, but, you have to suspend believability if he kills more than, 10 guys, probably, which is about what he kills.
Which I think, going back to what I was saying, it makes this feel like it is believable. Him walking through there and being tactical.
Yeah, and then finally he runs out of ammo with the guns he picks up, and he ends up with a pistol, but there's no more guys. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to find where she is, and he sees pediatric surgery. Now, I don't know that this is, the best thing. In the game, it's the same way. Would she really be in pediatric surgery?
Yeah.
Would they give that obvious clue that a 14-year-old would be in pediatric surgery? Because I'm sure there's...
I thought that was kind of silly.
There's probably 20 to 30 surgery operating rooms in this hospital, but he guesses right. He guesses the pediatric surgery. I guess maybe the floors they're on are the floors they're on. He was fighting through guys in this area, so probably it was where they were. So he finds the operating room, goes in. There's a doctor and 3 nurses in the room. And, so let's stop right there before we get to the next scene. And just, I think we've said enough about this, but man, he is the Terminator.
Yeah, 100%.
He's absolutely the Terminator.
Yep.
It is not even funny how good he is.
Yeah, you even said it during the show. You're like, he's the Terminator. I was like, God, you were in my head. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I was just thinking back, I don't remember the original term. The police station, where Arnold's just killing everybody. He's the bad guy.
I'll be back, and he comes through with the car, but not to that extent. But he's just walking through, just
killing everybody.
But he's a little bit more tactical in this. But to start off, he's through the window, boom, boom,
He's just taking guys out left and right,
and he's got this blank. It's his face. He's got this blank look on his face.
Pure adrenaline at that point. He is just pure adrenaline. So he finds the operating room, walks in. The doctor's like, well, you can't be in here. And he's like, unhook her. And the doctor's like, I can't let you take her. He picks up a scalpel. Yeah. And Joel's just like, boom, right in the head.
Brought a knife to a gunfight.
In the game, I killed them all. Yeah. I killed them all. I didn't feel bad about it at all.
Yeah,
they were going to kill him.
He left the nurses.
Yeah, he did leave the nurses, which I was surprised about. They didn't just have him take him out, but I guess they don't want to make him that bad. Yeah. Because they were unarmed. They did everything he said.
Is they going to come back to haunt him now? Because they know what happened now?
Probably not. So then he has her unhook him. He grabs Ellie and gets on an elevator, which you were like, oh, is that safe?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to be on an elevator that hadn't been repaired in 20 years, but I guess they've been using it probably.
When's the last time they did maintenance on that thing?
It's been a while. Unless the Fireflies did. I guess they could have. So he goes into the garage, finds a car the battery's being charged, and Marlene comes up behind him. Marlene goes up, gun drawn, and says, hey, I had a feeling you would do this, basically. I knew it. That's why I had you taken away, and you were going to do this.
She should have had more guys down there with her.
Yeah, I think you might have killed them all. But it does seem understaffed. It's not as understaffed in the game. It really does, It's not as understaffed in the game. There's a lot more guys in the game. That flamethrower really takes care of them, though. Flamethrower is very hard to keep up.
People are pretty scarce in this show, period. Look at the community. There's not a lot of people.
She brought 5 guys with her, and all of them died on the way, and she barely made it. So, it's probably hard to get to this area.
Right.
Because there's no Fedra in this area, as far as I can tell. It doesn't seem like there was a Fedra QZ there.
Yeah,
so there's no Fireflies there.
They walked in Salt Lake, I guess, is where they're at.
Yeah,
supposedly.
no problem.
They walked in with no problem.
Yeah.
Until they came across the Fireflies.
So Marlene says, hey, did you... I know you want this, but do you think she wants this? Mm-hmm. Do you think this would be her decision? And I think that really gets to Joel.
Yeah.
But he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't get to make the decision in this. He gets to make the decision. And then that conversation flashes to Joel in the car, driving away. We don't know if Ellie's alive. We don't know if he left her. And then we get a view of Ellie in the back seat. Ellie is still in her hospital gown, and she wakes up, and Joel starts explaining, hey, they took your blood. Excuse me.
Cricket.
They took your blood.
Frogs.
And there was a lot more like you that were immune, but they couldn't find anything.
Yeah, just totally made up.
And then raiders attacked the hospital, and everybody got killed. We barely made it out alive. I got you out alive. And
I guess he's calling himself a raider at this point.
Yeah, essentially he is the raider.
Yeah.
And in this scene, we kind of flash back to him and Marlene. Marlene's putting her gun down. She's not going to fight him. She's going to let him do what he wants to do. But he knows. He knows that Marlene is always going to be after him.
Yeah.
So he has a gun hidden under Ellie's robes. He shoots Marlene in the gut, unfortunately for her. It's a rough shot. Bad way to die if she's going to die. And he loads Ellie in the car, comes back, and he tells Marlene, I can't. And she's like, let me live. Let me live. I'll let you go. And he's like, you'll never let me go.
Yeah.
So he kills Marlene. He shoots her in the head. And that's where we go back to the car. And Ellie and Joel are just moving. Ellie does not seem to trust Joel in this scene. She seems like probably that Joel's not telling the truth.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
yeah, she's not. There's a little bit of distrust for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that
because she's starting to ask some simple questions,
very pointed
questions,
questions.
that are
that she's trying to catch Joel to tell her, and she knows. Yeah. She knows what Joel did. She doesn't want to know what Joel did, but she knows what Joel did. So Ellie kind of just goes back to sleep because she's all drugged up, and we get the scene with him killing Marlene, and we end up at the next scene. The car's broken down. It's in Wyoming. We see him driving into Wyoming, and they get out of the car, and essentially Joel says, "Hey, we just got 5 hours to walk from here. We can get there, no problem." It's like, it's what we done the whole show. Yeah. We can do it some more.
It's like a mile. A mile for us is like 5 hours. For them. Yeah,
it's like they're just going to walk to Tommy. And they get to this vista where they're overlooking Jackson, which is kind of funny because the first time they got close to Jackson, they got surrounded by a bunch of guys. You don't get that here, but I guess they're coming in through the mountainous way, so it's not as...
It was all snowed in.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to stop off at the lodge with, what's his name, and his wife.
Graham Greene.
Greene. Yeah, I would have liked that. Yeah. I would have liked to seen them again. They were beautiful shots. They were great.
Beautiful shots in this of the mountains and the woods.
Makes you want to go out there.
So they get to this vista overlooking Jackson, and Ellie goes, "Hey, I want to ask you, were you telling me the truth about the fireflies?" And she goes, "Swear to me that you're telling me the truth." And he goes, "I swear." He's never going to let her know the truth because he doesn't want her to feel like that she failed, essentially. He wants to protect her at all costs.
And with her even asking that again, or not again, but after the story, for her to even ask that shows that she doesn't trust him.
She doesn't. She knows what he did. She knows it. She just doesn't want to believe it. But at this point, what does it matter?
Yeah.
To be honest, he made a decision on her behalf, despite the fact she probably wouldn't have made the same decision. She's still alive, and they're going to go live in a very nice place and survive.
Yeah.
At that point, and that's where the episode ends.
You like to hope
just under the length of the episode on that recap.
Oh, looky there!
Impressive. All right, so anything to say about those scenes?
Yeah, no, I think we summed it up pretty well. I mean, it's pretty straightforward with what it's trying to convey. But I'm ready for season 2.
Yeah, we're probably 2 years away from
I know.
Season 2.
It's too bad.
I hate that HBO doesn't produce yearly, man. It's 2 years away. The world could end. The cordyceps could take over in 2 years. We never get the end of this. I guess we live the end of this if that happens.
COVID-20 could come.
COVID 2027.
Yeah.
It's
oh God, I hope not. China. We could go to war with China.
No, that can happen.
Yeah.
Not really.
World War III.
China ain't going to go to war with us. We spend too much money in their country.
Yeah, you're right. I think everything we have here is probably Chinese made.
These glasses are definitely made in China. Yeah. This beer was not made in China. It was made in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep.
Peel.
Consumed by Americans.
That's right. The hops were from Wyoming. Oh, wait.
But yeah, I enjoyed this finale. But for it to be a finale, it didn't. I don't think it cut it as a finale.
It's a finale of the game.
I like. Okay, I like where they left off. A big question at the end. Great, but
I just started playing the second game too, so I kind of know where it goes from here.
I have a problem with the length of the episode.
It is so short,
and it drives me nuts because I want more.
Yeah, I just want all the Last of Us.
And I think that's what
give it to me.
I think that's what's really holding this episode back is the length. Yeah. There's a lot told in 43 minutes, but give me more for crying out loud.
Give me more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have gone with more too.
But then they probably would have drawn it out. And we were like, man, they
we
spent way too much time. We spent way too much time on this. You know, they could have condensed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hopped on Facebook before we went on live, and we were seeing, like, this one guy in one of these groups I'm in. It's a video game group. He was like, man, that felt like 15 minutes. It really did. This went at a clip.
It did. It really did.
So quick. I was like, oh, my God, is that the end? We thought it was the end.
Yeah.
When he finished Marlene off.
And because it went to black.
It went to black.
Yeah, I was like, that's how they're going to end it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, nope, we're going to get that little end. In the end of the game, I think they're, like, riding horses out in the snowy Wyoming after they've made it back. I can't remember exactly, but the same kind of thing happens.
Yeah.
Where she kind of asks, do you swear to me? And it's like,
yeah,
the acting in this show. I mean, just overall, the show's. Let's rate the fucking show. Let's do it.
43-minute episode. This is the shortest episode of the season.
Yeah, but it got
by 2 minutes.
It got a lot done.
It did get a lot done.
Got a lot done.
And that was one of my biggest kind of complaints about this.
Yeah.
The show is nothing's really happening.
Yeah.
They're not really getting anything done, I mean, there's stuff that happens in between, but it's like nothing like until last episode.
Really got moving.
And then, this episode too,
of course.
Was a clip. Yeah. So, with that being said,
we're going to rate the show.
Let's rate it.
We're going to rate it. We finished 9 episodes.
Yeah.
You've been with us if you're watching, you've been with us for 9 episodes. Not many of you watched through the whole YouTube videos or the stream. We have one viewer. I'm pretty sure that's old Bado.
Hey, welcome back, old Bado. Mr. Cyborg.
Bado from Star Wars.
Yeah. We just made that character.
But we're going to rate the season. Yeah. Because I think this deserves a proper rating for the season. We've done other TV in the past, but we rarely cover every episode of the season. We did this with House of the Dragon. We did this with Last of Us. We're doing it with Mandalorian, so definitely check out our Mandalorian.
Yeah, we rated House, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think we did.
Yeah.
But we're going to rate this.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
I got to go. Are we going out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to go 8.
You're an 8?
I'm at an 8.
You're an 8? I'm at a 9.5.
I'm at an 8 because, like I said, I felt at times it just, the show didn't go anywhere.
Well, there are 2 episodes that definitely didn't go anywhere.
The finale was too short. And there was a couple episodes that just kind of was like...
They were tangents.
So,
they were tangents.
Those kind of held it back from being a 9 for me. But, yeah, I'm at an 8 right now.
9.5.
I need more.
To me, it's one of the best shows ever put on TV.
They go to season 2, and that's amazing. Then I'll probably go back and watch this and be like, gosh, I should have gave that a higher rating. Or maybe I'll be like, it's a lower rating.
HBO never lets me down. Like, my top 2 favorite shows of all time are 6 Feet Under and Sopranos.
I got to go with an 8 right now. Yeah. So,
you're gonna
I think because I need more. I didn't play the game.
Yeah.
So I don't
bringing my PS4 next week.
I don't see all the little details and nuances. So that I'm sure if I did that, it would go up a whole point.
You're playing the game.
Yeah. So you gotta relearn controls.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Lack of. I mean, I know they're more of a character-based show, but the lack of cordyceps too is kind of a thing with me. I was like, what the? I mean.
I was okay with it.
Give me something.
Because that's a lot in the game.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
I'm at a 9.5. You're an 8. That's lower than I was expected.
That's
lower than I was expected. I'm at a 9.5.
I was very, I think it's like I said, I needed more. So 8 for me is.
You'll get a season 2.
It's
I greenlit it.
Yeah. So I'm sticking at 8.
Got to finish playing the game.
Don't get me wrong though. I want more. I really, really like this show.
All right, I think we're done.
I don't think I've fallen in love with it, but I love it.
Yeah, it's
if
great.
that makes sense.
Oh, it's terrific.
Yeah. So
all right, so that's
gotta play the game. That's
it for The Last of Us
That's gonna
season
do it.
1. We're going to call it at that.
Yep.
Be sure to follow us on twitch.tv/basement movie room, youtube.com/@basement movie room. You can also see us on Twitter at movie_basement. Usually you get an update if we're going on Twitch on that. That's pretty much the only updates we get on Twitch. And email us at basementmovieroom@gmail.com. That's podcast with an S on the end. And we will see you on The Mandalorian if you're watching that. Otherwise, we'll see you next season for Last of Us Season 2.
Be right back for the Mando.
That's right.
Yep.
See ya.
Another Pedro.